and I'm back again with another video. What's good? What's popping, y'all? I'm back. This is not the typical type of videos that I intended to do, but as you can see by the title, it is Scoliosis Awareness Month. June is Scoliosis Awareness Month, and I do have scoliosis. So, but before we get into the video, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Tell your mama, tell your auntie, tell your uncle, tell that that's your girl Key. Got it going on over here. And let's get right into the video. I'm basically going to give you guys a broad picture as to what scoliosis is, and then I'm going to go into sharing my story on how I found out that I had scoliosis. Scoliosis is a sideways curvature of the spine that occurs most often during the growth spurt just before puberty. While scoliosis can be caused by conditions such as cerebral paralysis and muscle dystrophy, the cause of most scoliosis is unknown. Like, for instance, mine. It is like, I don't know what caused it, I don't know anybody in my family that has scoliosis. So it's like, as of right now, I'm like the first person to have scoliosis. So about 3% of adolescents have scoliosis. So it's crazy because I probably had it all this time and never knew about it, never had any symptoms to go along with it or anything of that sort until I joined the military and they had to do serious examinations on you. You know, the military tests you for everything and anything. So it's like, 2016 when I joined, that's when I found out that I had scoliosis. Most cases of scoliosis are mild, so I'm mild. So it's mild. It's mild scoliosis, which is 10 to 25 degrees. Moderate scoliosis, which is 25 to 40 degrees. And severe scoliosis, which is 40 plus degrees. And that's when like a person is like, their spine is really, really messed up. At that severe case, you are completely messed up. So I am at a mild case of, I have a mild case of scoliosis. So I do want to get it fixed. I do want to get my spine corrected. I shouldn't say fixed, but my spine corrected before it gets any worse. And or you feel like you have scoliosis, or you don't even know, but just check on yourself, because like I said, I never knew I had it, and I just went to the doctor for something. It wasn't even 2 tests for scoliosis, and I found out that I had scoliosis. So that is pretty much what it could be like. Severe scoliosis, and especially severe spinal curvature, can reduce the amount of space within the chest, making it difficult for lungs to function. Back brace that I wear from time to time. If I'm gonna do something extra, then I gotta put it on. So yeah. Signs and symptoms of scoliosis may include. So one thing I want to say is before, there's a lot of things that have the same symptoms. So if you're going to test for one, test for all, because you never know. There's a lot of stuff that may have the same symptoms. So, but some of the signs and symptoms are uneven shoulders, one shoulder blade may appear to be more prominent than the other, uneven waist, and one hip higher than the other. So I did know 2 persons who actually had their hips was actually, one hip was actually higher than the other. So yeah. If a scoliosis curvature gets worse, the spine will also rotate and twist. In addition to curving side to side, this causes ribs on one side of the body to stick out further than the other side. When should you see a doctor? Go to a doctor if you notice signs and symptoms of scoliosis in your child. Mild curves, however, can develop without the parent or child knowing it, because they appear gradually and usually doesn't cause pain. Occasionally, teachers, friends, and sports mates are the first to notice a child's scoliosis. Risk factors of developing the most common type of scoliosis include age. Signs and symptoms typically begin during the growth spurt that occurs just prior to puberty. So both boys and girls develop mild scoliosis at the same rates. Girls have a higher risk of the curve worsening and require treatment. Family history. Scoliosis can run in the family, but most children with scoliosis don't have a family history of this disease. Like I said, for me, I don't know anybody else in my family that has scoliosis. So yeah. Complications. While most people with scoliosis have a mild form of the disorder, scoliosis may sometimes cause complications including lung and heart damage. In severe scoliosis, the rib cage may press against the lung or heart, making it difficult to breathe and harder for the heart to pump. Back pains. Adults who had scoliosis as children are most likely to have chronic back pains than people in the general population. Like I said, June is Scoliosis Awareness Month, and the color is green. So yeah, I will put a clip of how my back is. You're probably not gonna see anything in my you're probably not gonna see anything, but if you do, then hey, whatever. So yeah, now I'm going to share my story on how I found out I had scoliosis. So it's crazy because when I went to when I was going to high school, I knew a couple people who had scoliosis who went to the same high school as me, and they did surgery, and never in a million years would I think that I would end up with scoliosis. So I had scoliosis at that point in time. So it was like, you know, when they told me, I didn't find out until I joined the military. When they told me, it was like a huge shocker. I was like, there's no way that I have scoliosis and da 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 da. I was like, because everybody else that I know is scoliosis, their back is like, it's like they actually have, you know, they actually have a deep ass curve and everything. So I was like, okay. A lot of people who have scoliosis, but it's like, you know, I never thought that I would end up with scoliosis at that point in my life. So, because I was like, okay, you know, a lot of people, they were born with it or something like that, or they see it in their early stages of life. So, I mean, it's still in my early stage, but I mean, like, their younger stage of life. So, I found out I had scoliosis in 2016. I found out I had scoliosis. And at that point, there was like, oh, your curvature is at this, and da 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 da. So, I would have had to got out of the military, but I was like, you know, it's not affecting me. I did not even go, so I went to sick hall, and I didn't even go to sick hall that day for scoliosis. I didn't go to sick hall for anything of that sort. I went because I was having hip pains. So that's the reason why I went to sick hall. And come to find out, so that doctor, all she did was rub her hand down my back, and she was like, you have scoliosis. I'm like, what? She's like, didn't they test you in MEPS? I was like, they didn't tell me I had anything like this. Like, none of this is on my records, nothing like that, and da 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 da. So she was like, I forgot what she told me my curvature was. I want to say, I don't remember what it was. I want to say it was at 10. And I was like, she was like, yeah, you have up to 20 in order for you to get out. Like, you have to get out if your curvature is at a 20, it's at a 20, your curvature is 20, then I'd have to get out. So I was like, okay, I was very scared because I was like, I didn't know what to do, and all that type of stuff. So I was like, damn, what if it gets worse? And da 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 da. And then I was like, that means I'm gonna have to get out. I ain't even got nowhere in my career yet, and all this extra stuff. And I called my sister because we had a phone call. We got a phone call, so I ended up calling my sister, and I told my sister, like, hey, I have scoliosis. I was crying. I told my sister, I was like, yeah, I just found out that I had scoliosis. Could you tell my dad? Because at that time, I didn't have that much time on the phone to call. I didn't have that much time on the phone to call everybody. So I called my sister, And I was like, okay, well, could you call my dad? Could you call dad and let him know that, let them know that, okay, such happened, and this is what it is, and, and stuff like that. She was like, okay, yeah. And I was like, okay, I mean, here and there I would have felt pain and stuff. I mean, I was feeling pain before that, but I wasn't thinking about that. I thought, okay, well, it's probably just my hips, that's causing the pain to go up and all this type of stuff. So, I was feeling the pain, but I wasn't, I wasn't paying attention. Cause I was like, I'm not shaped, I'm not bent to that point, to that degree where I was like, I think that I had scoliosis. So scoliosis was like literally the furthest thing from my mind. So, found out that I had it and everything, and I went through basic, went through IT in my first duty station here in Italy, and I went to the doctor for my PHA. So I had to do my PHA and everything. And he was like, you're at a 14. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I was like, there's no way. And he was like, oh, you have to get out. I was like, no, that's a lie, because they told me that I have to be at a 20 to 25 in order for me to get out. And I had to be over a 25 at least in order to get out. And I was like, I don't even feel pain that much because I take so many painkillers, god damn it, that they got me on so many painkillers. Like, I don't even feel the pain. I don't feel, it's rare for me to feel pain. Like, I have to overexert. What the hell? For some reason my arm is killing me and I ain't did nothing. But like, I have to overexert myself in order for me to feel pain. Like, so it's like everything is all coming back. It's like I probably had it all along. That's probably why my posture of how I sit and that type of stuff, the way how I walk and all that type of stuff. So it's like, it's crazy how you could have something from so small, but it doesn't pop up. Like one day you be so fine, and then one day out of nowhere, like yesterday you do an exam, it comes back fine. The next day you do that very same exam and something popped up. So it's like anything can happen and stuff like that. So that's kind of like the story of how I found out that I had scoliosis and stuff like that. So while I was here, it was like, oh, I may have to get out. I was like, I don't even feel pain or anything like that. I really feel pain, like I said, because I'm on all these medications. So it's like my body is numb most times, so it doesn't really affect me. I don't feel anything like that. One thing is, though, I do want to have surgery to correct my spine. So I do want to have surgery to correct my spine, and I didn't want to have surgery in Italy because I don't have anybody here in Italy to, say I'm around. So now that I'm moving back to the States, I'm going to find out the possibility of me having surgery to correct my spine, and find the best doctor there is, to help me in that way possible. So that's pretty much the story of my background. Thank you guys. It's the end of the video. It was basically just like a story time, information given type video. This is the end of the video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Tell them, tell it, tell it, tell it that your girl Key got it going on over here. Okay, giving the tea, sharing the facts, telling you about what's going on in the world. Okay. So yeah, that is all that I have today. Thank you guys, and I will see you guys in my next video. Peace.